What if we told you that one of the world's most powerful entertainment companies, a platform you probably use weekly, was quietly rerouting billions right through your backyard? In late 2024, Netflix's sleek offices in Amsterdam and Paris were raided by investigators. Not for piracy, not for content, but for something far more serious: tax fraud. This is the untold story of how Netflix became the star of a European financial thriller, one that involves hidden profits, shell companies, academic influence, and political pressure. It might sound like a plot from one of their own shows, but this time, Netflix isn't writing the script. Stay with us, because what you're about to hear doesn't just affect Netflix. It might reshape how governments, institutions, and even universities deal with corporate power. Welcome to Dutch Crime Files. To understand how this works, you need to understand the Dutch tax landscape. For years, the Netherlands has been labeled a gateway jurisdiction, a country that offers favorable tax structures, perfect for multinationals trying to minimize tax bills in high-tax countries like France. Until 2020, French subscribers paid for Netflix through a Dutch entity. That meant the income, technically, wasn't French, it was Dutch. In 2023, Netflix reported 1.2 billion euros in revenue from France. And yet, in 2019 and 2020 combined, it paid less than 1 million euros in French corporate tax. Let that sink in. So, was it smart accounting or something more sinister? In a public statement, Netflix said it fully complies with local tax laws and is cooperating with authorities. They didn't deny the structure. In fact, they acknowledged the previous setup and said it has since been changed. But critics argue that just because something is legal doesn't make it right. In 2022, Netflix already paid nearly 56 million euros in a settlement with Italian prosecutors for a similar issue. So is this becoming a pattern? This story takes an even stranger turn when we bring in the University of Amsterdam. Between 2021 and 2024, Netflix funded a research project at the UVA focused on taxation in the digital economy. Although the university claims the research was independent, leaked internal emails and public backlash suggest otherwise. One article labeled it "tax advice disguised as academic research." So now the question becomes, was Netflix shaping academic thought while fending off tax investigations? And how deep does that influence go? Netflix isn't alone. Amazon, Google, Meta, they've all faced criticism for funneling profits through low-tax jurisdictions. But the Netflix case is different because of the timing. European regulators are cracking down, and public patience with corporate giants exploiting loopholes is wearing thin. This case is more than a headline. It's a warning shot. Governments are starting to align, and the old games may be coming to an end. The investigation is still ongoing. If prosecutors find wrongdoing, Netflix could face massive fines and additional penalties. But perhaps more important is what this means for the future of tech accountability in Europe. Will countries continue to let platforms like Netflix profit from users while dodging local obligations? Or is this the beginning of a new era, where even the biggest names can't hide behind clever contracts? One thing's for sure, the credits haven't rolled yet. At the heart of this case lies a legal gray area. While many of Netflix's tax arrangements may have followed the letter of the law, they arguably violated its spirit. Critics point to the Netherlands' role as a conduit country, a jurisdiction where profits pass through without meaningful taxation. Despite recent efforts to curb aggressive tax planning, legal frameworks haven't caught up with the creative tactics of global tech giants. In fact, as of 2023, the EU had not yet finalized uniform rules for digital platform taxation. That left enforcement to national authorities, each with different levels of political will and resources. So the question isn't just, did Netflix exploit the system? It's also, why was the system so easy to exploit? The raids sparked immediate political backlash, especially in France, where public anger over corporate tax avoidance has reached boiling point. French finance officials were quick to highlight their crackdown, using the Netflix investigation as a symbol of renewed enforcement. In the Netherlands, the mood was more complicated. While Dutch authorities cooperated with the probe, they also faced tough questions. Why had this been allowed for so long? What role did the Dutch tax authority play in facilitating such structures? Some opposition leaders demanded a full parliamentary inquiry into the use of the Netherlands as a tax shelter. Others called it hypocrisy, noting the government's own encouragement of innovation-friendly policies that attract multinationals. Netflix, it seems, had become a lightning rod for years of pent-up frustration. The media quickly latched onto the case. Headlines ranged from Netflix under criminal investigation to streaming giant accused of cheating Europe. But the coverage raised another question. How had this gone unnoticed for so long? Some watchdogs argued that Netflix's brand image as a pop culture staple helped insulate it from scrutiny. Consumers didn't want to question the ethics of their Friday night binge watch. Others pointed to a lack of transparency around corporate reporting and lobbying, which left journalists and the public with limited tools to hold such companies accountable. In the end, Netflix's biggest problem may not be legal, it may be reputational. This investigation has quickly become a global test case. If authorities succeed in proving wrongdoing, it could pave the way for broader reforms in how digital companies are taxed, especially across the European Union. Already, the OEC is pushing for global minimum tax rules. The Netflix case could provide political momentum to speed up implementation. Meanwhile, other countries are watching closely. Will this embolden other regulators? Or will Netflix settle quietly and move on? Whatever happens, this case proves that even in the digital age, where content is king, tax strategy can bring down empires. This was Dutch Crime Files. If you thought this case was surprising, wait until you hear what's next. Don't forget to subscribe for more stories that peel back the polished surface and reveal the truth underneath.